The Girl Who Fell from the Sky. The sky was quiet above Varela 7. Too quiet. Leo Blake sat outside his small bunker, fixing a broken drone for the third time this week. Life as a maintenance worker on a lonely space outpost wasn't exciting, but at least it was simple. Quiet nights, cheap noodles, and no one bothering him. Just how he liked it. Until tonight. Without warning, a bright flash lit up the sky. A loud boom followed, shaking the ground under Leo's boots. He jumped up, eyes wide. What the hell was that, he muttered. A trail of smoke cut across the stars, heading straight for the forest just beyond the fence. Crashes didn't happen often, on Varela 7. And when they did, the government usually came fast, cleaned it up faster, and left no questions behind. Leo should have stayed out of it, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. He grabbed his flashlight, threw on his jacket, and took off on his hoverbike, following the smoke. Trees blurred past as he raced through the dark, his mind full of guesses. A cargo ship? A meteor? Maybe a spy drone? He didn't expect what he found. The crash site was still smoking. In the center of a small crater surrounded by broken rocks and scorched earth was a figure, a girl. She lay there, barely moving, her body glowing faintly in the dark. Her skin shimmered like silver under the moonlight, and strange tattoos ran down her arms, symbols that didn't look human. Her clothes were torn and covered in dust, but she looked peaceful, alive. Leo jumped down into the crater, checking her pulse. She's breathing, he whispered. He looked around, no ships, no drones, no sound. No one else had seen this. Yet, he hesitated, then lifted her carefully into his arms. She was light, too light, like she was half air. Guess you're coming with me, space girl. Back at the bunker, Leo laid her on the old medical bed in his workshop. His AI assistant, MIRA, blinked to life on the wall. Unknown life form detected, MIRA said. Would you like to scan for identity? Yeah, Leo said, wiping sweat from his forehead. Let's figure out who or what she is. A soft blue light scanned her body from head to toe. MIRA beeped, then paused. Scanning complete. Match found. Partial DNA link. Genetic. Overlap with Leo Blake. 42.3%. Leo blinked. What? That's not possible. He stared at the girl. She didn't even look fully human. Those glowing tattoos, that silver skin. How could she share DNA with him? He ran the scan again. Same. Result. Shared DNA confirmed, MIRA repeated. Leo backed away slowly. This wasn't just some lost alien. Somehow this girl was connected to him. And the weirdest part? She began to move. The girl opened her eyes. Bright silver, almost like mirrors. She looked around the room in panic, then locked eyes with Leo. Her lips moved slowly, trying to form words. Ooh, where? Hey, easy, Leo said, hands up. You crashed. You're safe now. She sat up, confused and scared. Her body shook. Her voice was soft, broken. Not safe. They come? They hunt? Leo frowned. Who hunts? She looked at the ceiling, then at the scanner, and whispered, You are the key. Leo felt a cold chill down his spine. What do you mean I'm the key? Key to what? But she didn't answer. Her eyes rolled back and she collapsed again. Leo stood there, heart pounding. Just an hour ago he was fixing drones and complaining about soup. Now? He had a glowing alien girl in his bed, a DNA scan saying she's part of his bloodline, and a warning about something, or someone, coming to hunt. He looked out the window. The stars didn't feel so peaceful anymore. The DNA doesn't lie. Leo didn't sleep that night, how could he? An alien girl, no name, no past, was unconscious in his medical bed, and the scanner said she shared 42.3% of his DNA. That wasn't some glitch. That was nearly the same percentage as a sibling. But she wasn't his sister. Was she? Leo sat at his workbench, staring at the DNA results for the 10th time. The glowing green numbers on the screen didn't care how confused he felt. They just repeated the same thing over and over. Match found. Genetic relation, partial. The girl hadn't moved again since whispering those strange words. You are the key. Yeah, no pressure. The sun, or at least Varela 7's version of it, started to rise, turning the desert sky purple and red. Leo stood, stretched, and poured himself some coffee from the machine that hadn't been cleaned in months. The drink tasted like burnt wires. He didn't care. He walked back to the medbay and looked at her. The girl still had that otherworldly glow. Her skin shimmered faintly, her hair oddly white like frost, and her breathing was shallow, almost robotic. Then, her fingers twitched. She was waking up again. Leo stepped back. Her eyes fluttered open, silver, and sharp like she could see through him. "Where?" she whispered. "You're in my bunker. You crash-landed last night," Leo said slowly, keeping his voice calm. "Do you remember anything?" She blinked. "I remember light and running." "Cold, then nothing." Leo nodded, trying not to sound nervous. "Do you remember your name?" She frowned like the question hurt her. Then she spoke slowly. "Eris." "Eris," Leo repeated. "Okay, that's something." She tried to sit up. He helped her. Her eyes scanned the room like she was seeing everything for the first time. When she noticed the scanner, her face changed. Alarm. Fear. "Did you scan me?" Leo hesitated. "Yeah, I had to." "You were unconscious. I needed to know if you were human or—" She finished the sentence for him. "Or something else." Silence. "I'm not here to hurt you," Leo said. "But there's something strange. The DNA scan says we're related." Eris stiffened. Her hands clenched the edge of the bed. "That's not possible. I don't have a family." "Neither do I," Leo replied. "Not anymore." She looked at him, really looked. "Then someone's lying to both of us." Hours later, Leo was back at his computer, talking to a friend he hadn't spoken to in years. Kai, a hacker who lived on the edge of every law known to mankind, popped up on screen. Kai wore a hood as usual and chewed something that looked like dried alien fruit. "Leo? Seriously? You're calling me after 3 years and not even a hey man? This better be spicy." "It's nuclear," Leo said. "I need a full scan on this DNA sample. Government records, old files, black market sources, everything." Kai raised an eyebrow. "DNA scan? You got a love child out there? Just run it." Quietly. Kai whistled. "You got it. Give me an hour." While Kai worked his magic, Eris wandered around the bunker like someone seeing the world for the first time. She touched things gently, curiously. A wrench, a broken music box, a cracked photo of Leo as a kid. "Is that you?" she asked. Leo glanced at the photo. "Yeah, me and my mom, back before Earth went to hell." "What happened to her?" Leo's face darkened. "She disappeared, along with my dad. Government said they were lost in a lab accident. I never believed them." Eris nodded slowly. "You were part of the project then?" Leo froze. "What project?" Before she could answer, the screen blinked. Kai was back, and he looked different now. Pale, serious. "Leo, you're not gonna like this. Try me." "The DNA sample? It matches data from a classified file. Project EVA, Experimental Virtual Adaptation. It was a secret genetics program run by the Old Earth Military Authority. They used DNA from select candidates to build hybrid soldiers and clones." Leo's throat went dry. "Your parents were lead scientists, Leo. They disappeared because they went off-grid, took you with them. You were a child prototype, one of the first." He couldn't breathe. "The girl? She's not random. She was made using your DNA as a base. She's not your sister, but not totally not either." Leo looked at Eris. She was staring back, silent. Suddenly, alarms screamed through the bunker. Red lights flashed. Incoming signal detected. Unknown ship approaching. Leo jumped to the terminal. What the hell? Who found us? The screen showed a stealth craft entering Varela 7's atmosphere. No ID, no signal. Just black metal and silent movement. Eris stood, her voice calm but full of warning. They found me. Who? Who are they? She looked at him. The ones who made me, and they're not here to take me back. The ship landed half a mile away. Leo could already hear the engines winding down. Footsteps, outside. Leo grabbed his blaster. Eris moved beside him. No fear in her eyes now. Only something. Sharper focus, Leo, she said. Yeah? If they get me, you die too. Our DNA is the key. To what? Eris turned toward the door. To everything. Memories from another world. The forest outside Leo's bunker was still, too still. The stealth ship had landed 20 minutes ago and nothing had moved since. No soldiers, no search drones, no sound. Leo hated it. It was like the silence before a storm. Only this storm didn't come with thunder. It came with guns, secrets, and whatever the hell Eris was hiding. Inside the bunker, Eris stood by the window, eyes scanning the shadows. They'll wait, she said calmly. They always wait. They want us scared first. How do you know that? Leo asked. Eris didn't answer right away. Instead, she placed her hand on the wall, fingers twitching as if she could feel something. Beyond. Leo stepped forward, blaster in hand. I need answers. Real ones. No more riddles. Who exactly are you? Eris turned to face him. I am what they made. A hybrid, designed to live between two worlds. Yours and theirs. Theirs? Leo asked. You mean aliens? Eris nodded. But I was never finished, she continued. I escaped before they could finish the programming. I'm broken. Leo stared. You don't seem broken. Eris smiled faintly. That's what makes me dangerous. She walked to the center of the room and knelt down. There's something under this floor. I saw it when I touched the wall. The structure, it's not all yours. Some of it's older, buried. Leo frowned. What are you talking about? Eris pressed her palm against the floor. A soft hum began to vibrate through the room. Then, with a sudden hiss, a hidden panel opened beneath their feet. Leo stepped back, eyes wide. Okay, that wasn't in the blueprint. Beneath the panel was a strange circular device, alien in design, covered in glowing glyphs and pulsing with blue light. Eris reached for it, but Leo stopped her. Wait. You said they're watching. Won't activating this thing give away our position? They already know where we are, she said, but this might give us a chance. Before Leo could protest, Eris touched the center of the device. Light exploded around them. Suddenly, Leo wasn't in his bunker anymore. He was standing in a large white room, metal walls, humming lights, and a high-pitched frequency buzzing in his ears. Like a dream, but too real. Across the room, a man and woman stood with a child. The woman had Leo's eyes. The man looked exactly like the photos Leo had of his father, but younger, healthier. The child was Leo. No way, he whispered. The vision played, like a memory. His parents were arguing. They'll use him, the woman said. They'll take his DNA and twist it into something else. We signed the contract, the man replied. There's no way out now. Leo watched in silence, frozen. Eris stood beside him in the vision, her eyes filled with sadness. You were never meant to grow up normal, she said softly. You were designed, engineered, just like me. But your parents ran before the testing began. They tried to save you. The vision changed. Now Leo saw a lab, cold, sterile, full of tubes and machines. Inside a tank floated a familiar shape. A girl. Her skin glowed faintly. Her eyes were closed. Tattoos across her arms. The same ones Eris had. Leo looked at her. That's you. Eris nodded. I wasn't born. I was printed. From your code. The vision ended. They were back in the bunker. The alien device was dim now. Leo sank into a chair, his hands shaking. So, I'm part alien, and you're a clone of me? Not a clone, she said softly. More like a rewrite. I'm the result of your future potential, what you could have been. Leo laughed bitterly. Great. I always wanted to meet a better version of myself. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Aris whispered, They made me to track you. To find the original. Leo turned sharply. What? I escaped before I could finish the mission. But the others? They won't stop. They need you. For what? Aris looked him dead in the eye. You're the last key to activating the gate network. Leo blinked. The what? Ancient portals, she explained. Buried across galaxies. Left behind by a species long gone. The government wants to control them, the aliens want to keep them closed. And me? What do I have to do with it? Aris hesitated. Your DNA is the missing piece. Only someone with your code can activate them. That's why they made me, to lure you in. Just then, a loud metallic crash shook the entire bunker. They were out of time. The doors blasted open. Smoke filled the room. Shapes moved in the shadows, soldiers in dark armor, helmets hiding their faces. Leo raised his weapon, but the soldiers didn't fire. Instead, one of them stepped forward and spoke in a language Leo didn't understand. But Aris did. Her face went pale. They know, she whispered. They know I've told you. The lead soldier raised his arm. His helmet retracted. Leo stared. The man had no eyes, just glowing black pits. His voice was cold and layered, almost digital. You are the echo, the bridge. You were not meant to remember. Leo fired. The shot passed through the soldier like smoke. They're not fully here, Aris said. Just projections. They're trying to stall us. Stall us from what? Suddenly, the alien device under the floor lit up again. A voice, not human, not machine, spoke through the bunker speakers. Gate beacon unlocked. Transport in, 30 seconds. Aris grabbed Leo's hand. They're trying to erase your mind. If we stay, they'll wipe your memories. Again. Again? Leo yelled. You're telling me this has happened before? Yes. Every time they find you, but this time I broke the loop. The room started to spin. Aris held onto him tight. I'll explain everything, just trust me. Leo looked into her silver eyes. He nodded, and then, white light swallowed everything. The hunters are here. Light. Blinding white light. Then, darkness. Leo gasped as air hit his lungs again. He landed hard on a metal floor, coughing, his vision still spinning like someone had shaken his brain, wherever they were now. It wasn't the bunker. Aris knelt beside him, calm as ever. Her silver eyes scanned the space, adjusting instantly, like she'd been here before. Where are we? Leo asked, his voice dry. The gate took us to a relay station, Aris said. It's old, hidden, not on any maps. The room around them looked like a mix between a spaceship bridge and an ancient temple. Glowing walls, floating panels, no dust, no signs of life. Just waiting. Leo stood shakily, looking around. Okay, just to recap, I'm part alien. My DNA can activate interstellar gateways, the government wants to use me, and shadow soldiers with no eyes tried to erase my memories. Did I miss anything? You also fell on your face, Aris said without smiling. Great, thanks. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the room. Cold, robotic. Intruders detected, access violation, lockdown engaged. The walls hissed, panels shut. A barrier dropped over the only visible exit. Leo backed up. That sounds bad. That feels bad. Aris didn't flinch. They found us faster than I expected. They're inside the relay systems. Who's they? Leo asked. You keep saying they like it's one big evil company. Who exactly are we running from? Eris turned to him slowly. They're called the Architects. Leo blinked. The who now? They're the original builders of the gate network. Or, what's left of them. What do you mean, what's left? Before she could answer, the center of the room lit up. A hologram appeared, grainy and flickering. A human face, male, mid-40s, military haircut, sharp jaw, cold, dead eyes. Leo's stomach turned. He knew that face. General Amon, Leo muttered. Earth Military Authority, Eris whispered. That's not him anymore. The hologram spoke. Subject Echo 1 located. Retrieval protocol activated. Leo stepped back. Did he just call me Echo 1? Eris nodded. That's your original designation. You were the first successful hybrid candidate. Successful at what? I can't even keep a houseplant alive. The hologram glitched, just slightly. Then it stared right at Leo. Return and we will restore what was taken. Resist and you will be erased. Leo raised a middle finger. Come erase this, Amon. Suddenly, the wall exploded. Real world, not holographic, soldiers stormed. In black armor, glowing visors silent like shadows. Eris yanked Leo behind a console. Don't let them touch you. They inject memory suppressants on contact. Leo ducked. Memory what now? She reached into her belt and pulled out two strange devices, hand-sized, glowing softly. Leo grabbed one. This better be a blaster. It's better, Eris said. It's a neural disruptor. Aim, think shutdown, and press. Leo peeked around the console, heart hammering. One soldier was just feet away. He aimed, thought shutdown, pressed. The soldier froze mid-step, then crumpled like a puppet with its strings cut. Leo stared. Okay, that's kinda cool. Less talking, Eris snapped. More zapping. They fought their way through the relay station, ducking, dodging, disabling, but the soldiers kept coming, silent, relentless, inhuman. Leo noticed something. They didn't bleed. They didn't cry out. When shut down, they dissolved into ash. Wait, they're not real, he said. They're projections, or drones. Partially, Eris said. They're bioshells, half living, half programmed, controlled remotely. Leo paused mid-run. So someone's sitting in a chair somewhere piloting this army like a video game? Not someone, she said. Something. They reached a control room deep in the station. Eris slammed the panel. Gate coordinate. Input required. She turned to Leo. Your DNA is the only thing that can unlock the next jump. Leo held up his hand. Wait, this is too much. Every second we run, we get attacked, shot at, and I get a new identity. I need answers before I stick my arm in any more glowing ports. Eris walked up to him, deadly serious. You want answers? Fine. Your parents didn't just run away from Earth, they tried to hide you because they learned what the program was really for. What was it for? She hesitated. Then, to turn human minds into data keys, living passwords to ancient, alien tech. The architects couldn't build the gates alone, they needed minds that could handle the complexity, so they bred them. Leo's heart raced. They bred me, not just you. Hundreds, thousands. But you were the only one that survived full integration with the gate system. The others broke. Leo's head spun. So I'm not the chosen one, I'm just the last one standing. That's why they want you, she said softly. You're not a weapon. You're a key to power they barely understand. Gate link failure. Hostile system presence detected. A voice screamed through the control panel. The lights flickered. Red Eris growled. The architects are here, in the system. Surrender the echo. This body belongs to us. The voice didn't come from the speakers this time, it came from Leo's mind. He dropped to one knee, clutching his skull. Get out, he shouted. Eris held him. They're trying to override you, fight back, focus. I can't stop it. Suddenly, everything inside the room froze, even the lights. A new figure stood in the doorway. Not a soldier. Not human. face was smooth and featureless, like polished metal. It hovered slightly above the ground, wrapped in light and static. An architect, Leo, stared at it, his breath fogged in the air. It looked at him without eyes and spoke in a voice like whispers through wires. Echo, we created you to open the stars. You do not belong to them. You belong to us. Leo rose slowly. Blood ran from his nose. His vision blurred. But he wasn't afraid now. He was angry. He stepped forward. No, he said. You don't own me. He grabbed the neural disruptor, rewired it in seconds, and jammed it into the main control core. Eris screamed, Leo, don't! He hit the switch. Light exploded across the room, and then nothing. Silence. Leo opened his eyes. He was floating, in space, surrounded by stars and fragments of broken code, as if reality had been peeled apart. Across from him, Aris floated too. Eyes, wide mouth open but frozen, and just beyond her, a planet, a real one, not on any map, glowing with gate energy. Somehow Leo had opened a pathway to a lost world. The architects were nowhere in sight. Not yet, but Leo felt it. They were coming. Truth buried in time. Leo blinked slowly. His head was pounding, his ears ringing like someone had struck a bell inside his brain. He wasn't floating in space anymore. Now he was lying on soft dirt. Grass. Real, living grass. The air was cool and wet, like a planet that had just seen rain. The sky above wasn't black. It was deep blue, filled with 2 suns and no moons. He sat up slowly. Aris was already awake, crouching a few feet away, scanning the surroundings. They were on a hill. Below them spread a massive abandoned city, alien, ruins, metal towers, and massive stone structures half swallowed by nature. Leo rubbed his temples. What is this place? Aris stood. It's called Jalra. This is one of the architect homeworlds, the last one still breathing. He looked at her. You said the architects were gone. They are, physically. But their minds, those survived. In the network, inside the gates. And this planet? Leo asked, staring at the ruins. Why now? Why us? Because this world only opens to someone with your genetic code, she said. You didn't just open a door, you activated a forgotten memory locked inside the system. Leo swallowed hard. A memory of what? Of you, Aris said. Your past lives, your origin, your purpose. Leo laughed bitterly. Great. Now I have past lives. What am I, a galactic Buddha? No. You're worse, Aris said softly. You're unfinished. They descended the hill and entered the city. Vines covered doorways. Lights flickered from broken towers. But the tech was still running, barely. As they walked, strange symbols lit up under Leo's feet. Aris noticed. They remember you, she said. Leo stopped. I've never been here. Aris looked up at a tall wall where the symbols had formed a shape, a face, his face. But they think you have. They reached a circular temple at the city's heart. Inside, tall stone chairs surrounded a platform. At the center of the room was a strange machine, like a fountain of glowing liquid metal hovering in the air. This is a memory well, said a voice. Not out loud, but inside Leo's head. He staggered. You heard that too? He asked Aris. She nodded. Tense. It's speaking through the well. It wants you to remember. Place your palm on the core, the voice said again. Leo hesitated. What if this fries my brain? Aris met his eyes. What if it saves it? He stepped forward, slowly, raised his hand, touched the core, and everything changed. Suddenly, he was not Leo anymore. He was someone older, stronger, dressed in armor that shimmered like starlight. He stood before a council, aliens and humans all arguing in a language he somehow understood. The gate network is collapsing, one said. We must shut it down before the architects override the living hosts. We need the echoes, another said. The hybrids can stabilize the pathways. Leo, this version of Leo, stood firm. We're playing with fire. If even one echo is corrupted. The vision blurred. Flashes of war, broken cities, empty planets. Then another face appeared, General Amon. But younger, human, pure. His eyes full of fear. We lost control. The minds we uploaded, they've started rewriting the code. And then the scariest thing of all, a child, crying, alone, in a glowing pod. The pod was labeled Echo 1. Leo stepped closer. It was him. It had always been him. He gasped and staggered backward. Eris caught him. What did you see? She whispered. I wasn't born, Leo said, eyes wide. I was recycled. They've been rebooting me over and over again, each time trying to perfect the Echo program. He looked at her. And you? You were a test run. Eris nodded slowly. They used my DNA to trace yours. They used my mind to trigger your awakening. Leo paced the temple, panicking. So I'm not Leo Blake. I'm a walking USB stick, made by ancient aliens and paranoid humans. No, Eris said, stepping forward. You're something new. Not just a key. Maybe a cure? A cure for what? Eris gestured to the skies. For them. As if on cue, the wind shifted. The clouds thickened. Shadows began to stretch unnaturally. Leo turned slowly. Figures were descending from the sky. Not ships, but constructs of light and metal. Architect entities. Dozens of them. They've followed us, Eris said. They won't let you stay awake. Leo backed up. What do they want now? To finish the cycle, she whispered. To erase this version and try again. I'm not a software update, Leo shouted. But the architects didn't care. They circled the temple like silent ghosts. Then one stepped forward. Its body shifted into the form of Leo's mother. Son, it said in a soft voice. You're not ready. Sleep now. We'll fix it next time. Leo's hands shook. Eris stood beside him. You can fight them, she said. The memory well unlocked. Your link, use it, command them. Leo focused. The architect froze. So did the others. Echo, override detected, host control active. Leo's eyes began to glow with the same blue light as the symbols on the floor. Eris gasped. You're in the system now. You cannot hold it, one architect warned. You are unstable. I'm not unstable, Leo said. I'm finally in control. He raised his hand. The architect shattered into light. Silence fell. The temple stopped shaking. The skies cleared. Eris turned to him, stunned. You overpowered the architects. That's impossible. Leo collapsed to his knees, sweat pouring down his face. It didn't feel impossible. It felt natural. You're evolving, Eris whispered. They tried to make a tool, but they accidentally made a god. Leo looked up, breathing hard. No gods. No rulers, no control. He stood. We end this. We shut the gates forever. Eris nodded. But to do that, we have to go to Earth. The Exodus Protocol. 3 weeks later, location. Earth orbit. The Earth hung in space like a blue marble, peaceful and silent. It was a lie. Inside the military space station Aegis Prime, alarms screamed as unauthorized gate activity rippled through the satellite network. Multiple energy signatures detected. Origin unknown, possibly off-grid gate worlds. Locking onto frequency. Unable to trace. General Amon stood at the observation deck, watching the gate network light up like a nervous system across the void. His face was hard, expressionless. He spoke without turning. He's alive. A younger officer looked up from the console. Sir? Amon's voice was cold. Echo 1 survived, and now he's coming home. Meanwhile, Gate Transit Point 9, Earth's outer orbit. Leo's ship, if you could call it that, was a rebuilt architect transport, half alive, half machine, and completely against Earth law. Eris sat in the pilot's seat, locked into the neural interface like it was made for her. Leo stood at the rear viewport watching Earth grow closer. His palms were sweaty. His heart was racing. He was coming home, but not as a son. He was coming as a threat. Still time to turn around, Eris said, not looking at him. Leo shook his head. No. I need answers. And the people who buried them are all down there. Eris blinked. There's a strong chance they'll try to kill you before you land. Leo smirked. That's cute. They can try. They breached Earth's atmosphere under stealth. No landing clearance, no permission. Just sheer nerve and a ship that ignored every known radar signal like it was born to disobey. They touched down in the desert ruins of New Nevada, once a thriving colony zone, now a graveyard of failed projects and buried tech. The perfect place to hide, but not for long. The minute Leo stepped outside, he felt it. Pressure, like gravity had doubled just for him. They know we're here, Eris said quietly. Leo nodded. Good. Let them come. Hours later, night fell, and so did the silence. A black transport ship landed a mile out. No lights, no sound, just soldiers in matte black armor walking toward them like shadows. Leo and Eris stood at the edge of a broken building, watching, waiting. Recognition scan starting, Eris said. They're not drones this time. Leo squinted. No, these are real people. Trained to bring me in. For your safety, Eris said dryly. Yeah, Leo muttered. So they can safely dismantle my brain. The soldiers stopped, 50 feet away. A voice called out. Echo 1. You are considered unstable and dangerous. Stand down. This is your only warning. Leo stepped forward. No, thank you. I've been shut down enough for one lifetime. The soldiers raised weapons. Eris raised hers faster. Then, someone else appeared. Out of the shadows, a man walked into view, not armored, not scared. General Amon, face to face. Leo froze. You, he said. Amon smiled faintly. You've grown up. Well, Echo, I go by Leo now. You were never just Leo, Amon replied. You were designed to be something greater, and now you've gone rogue. Leo stepped closer. You lied to my parents. You erased entire memories. You turned humans into lab rats, and you think I'm the problem? You were unstable, Amon said calmly. You still are. You activated a gate that's been offline for over 1,000 years. Do you know what's happening now? All across the galaxy? Leo stared. Amon held up a device. Images flickered. Planets, civilizations, waking up, alien machines reactivating, architect constructs re-emerging. You opened the Exodus protocol, Amon said. Every surviving gate world is now broadcasting the same signal. Eris stepped forward. You mean, the signal you've been trying to control for decades? Amon ignored her, eyes locked on Leo. You have no idea what you've done. The architects were a threat, but what's coming now? It's worse. Leo's pulse spiked. Then help us. Stop treating me like a weapon and start treating me like a choice. Amon's expression hardened. You're not a choice, you're a variable. He turned to his soldiers. Engage mind lock sequence. Full neural override. Leo barely had time to scream before it hit. A surge of static in his brain. Pain. Like white fire burning through his thoughts. Knees hit the ground, heart pounding. He felt himself slipping. Erase. Rewrite. Obey. Then, a hand on his shoulder. Eris. Her eyes were glowing white-blue now. Architect level. She slammed her palm into his chest. Override denied. The pain stopped. Leo gasped, sucking in air like a drowning man. Amon's soldiers began to panic. Neural lock failed. Echo is resisting. How is that possible? Leo rose. You want to control me? He growled. Too late. He raised his hand and triggered the architect core inside him. The sand around them rose into the air. Energy pulsed. Machines buried for centuries woke up, drawn to him like iron to a magnet. Eamon backed away, for the first time ever, uncertain. You're becoming one of them, he said. No, Leo replied. I'm becoming more. Behind him, a giant gate structure ripped through the earth, rising from below like a sleeping god. The final gate. The one Earth had sealed long ago. The Exodus. Protocol was no longer theory. It was here. Back on Aegis Prime, Earth orbit, a dozen gate signals lit up on the monitors. Sir, what do we do? An officer asked. General Amon didn't answer. He stared out the window, because in that moment, Leo wasn't a boy anymore. He was a bridge, and the stars were about to walk through him. Heir of two worlds. The gate. Tower loomed over the desert, monolithic, alive. Electric arcs snapped across the sky. The ancient structure, dormant for millennia, was now awake and humming like a heartbeat made of thunder. Symbols danced across its surface, glowing brighter with every second. The earth trembled, and at its center stood Leo Blake. No longer just a man. No longer just an echo. Something more. Something new. Behind him, Eris placed a hand on his shoulder. Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed the storm within her. They're coming, she said. Leo didn't look back. The architects? No, Eris whispered. Everyone. Across Earth, every long silent gate lit up. In cities, in oceans, in space stations, people looked skyward. Screens crackled to life. Alien tech awakened in basements and bunkers, sending pulses through satellites, breaking through encrypted firewalls like paper. The message was the same. Everywhere. Air has awakened. Initiate final convergence. On Aegis Prime, chaos. General Eamon barked orders, but the command network was falling apart. His override keys failed. The main AI refused access. The ship's mainframe blinked, then calmly said, all control transferred to Echo 1, initiating Exodus interface. Amon stared at the screen, finally understanding. He was no longer in charge. Leo was. Back in the desert, the gate opened, not like a door, more like a tear in the universe. Through it, stars shifted, planets gleamed, 1,000 worlds flickered on. The other side, and in the center, a glowing corridor of memory and code and light, a bridge between species, times, and truths. Leo stepped forward. Eris caught his arm. Once you go in, there's no turning back. The system will either accept you or erase you. Leo nodded. It's the only way to finish it. You don't have to go alone. He smiled faintly. I do. But I want you with me. Eris hesitated, then stepped in beside him. Inside the gate, there was no up or down, no space. No time, only truth. Leo's memories floated around them like stars, scenes from childhood, lives that weren't his, blueprints, faces, flashbacks from past iterations. A child version of Leo reaching for his mother, crying. Eris in a lab tank, eyes wide open but unable to scream. A war, fire and steel, where a version of Leo stood at the center, destroying both sides. The system began to speak. Echo 1 confirmed. Hybrid classification incomplete, awaiting final directive. Leo gritted his teeth. No more directives. No more experiments. This ends now. State intent, the system demanded. Leo looked to Eris, then out into the infinite. My intent is to choose, not to serve, not to obey, not to conquer. I choose freedom. The gate pulsed, violently, suddenly. Opposition. The architects surged from the edges of the gate realm, forming from light and code, thousands of them, shifting, reaching. You are the last bridge, Your sacrifice restores our order. Eris stepped forward. You had your time, and you burned it. Leo lifted his arms. His body, once human, now shimmered with architect, energy and human emotion both, a perfect fusion. You want control? He said. Take it. He unleashed the core. A wave of pure memory hit the architects. Raw, emotional, human. They stumbled. They cracked. They broke. Because they weren't built. To feel and Leo was the gate fractured but didn't collapse. Instead, it shifted, rewriting itself. Leo's voice echoed through the system. No more control, no more weapons. The gates are now guardians, not bridges. No one passes unless they earn it. Hit the pulse spread across the galaxy. All gates dimmed. All architect AI went silent. Every backdoor, every override, every hidden protocol. Wiped. The gate brought Leo and Eris back to Earth. The sky was calm now. The tower, silent. The desert winds. Picked up again, Amon was there, alone. No soldiers, no commands left to give. He looked at Leo, not as a threat now, but as something he didn't understand. You shut it all down, Amon said. The power, the potential. I didn't shut it down, Leo replied. I gave it back. Days later, broadcast from Earth across every screen on every settled world, a signal played. Leo stood before a neutral backdrop, calm, strong, human. My name is Leo Blake. I was born of two worlds, human and architect. For too long we've let fear guide our future, fear of the unknown, fear of each other. But the stars are not weapons. The gates will remain, but they will no longer serve conquest. They will test us, guide us, challenge us. Only those ready, not by power but by wisdom, will pass. He looked into the camera, direct, clear. We are not alone. We never were. But now, for the first time, we are finally free. Epilogue. Leo stood with Eris at the cliff's edge, overlooking a new gate being grown, not built but grown, by peaceful hands and shared knowledge. She turned to him. So, what now? Leo smiled. We explore, not to conquer, not to rule, just to learn. She nodded. Sounds boring. Leo grinned. Good. I've had enough excitement for a few lifetimes. They watched the stars. Together.